Esports has gained immense traction over the last few years, with many players from around the world entering the esports bubble to show off their skills. And amongst these new players, we have some exceptional veterans who started the trend of esports when it was unknown to most of the world. Among these comes the name of Faker. Many of you might know him, but in case you don't, we will resume his story.
Even though I only have a mat on the floor, I think he's in the bed. Oh, Faker may be in trouble here. Deathmark tries to clean it up for Ryu. Oh, look at the cleanse, look at the moves! Faker, what was that? Faker with a huge play, the QSS.
Faker has been out of position because it's very hard to have position. We hear an ultimate pop and we see a turn.
Yeah, Dredge line coming through. Big
equalizer!
Big shockwave comes through. Faker
Holy.
just absolutely devastates the ranks of KT Roaster. A triple kill for him.
The path is clear for EDG. They'll take down the Scuttle Crab in these last remaining moments waiting for that Drake.
They're getting a third Mountain Drake. They already got the first Baron. That was huge for them to actually get a bigger gold lead. They're saving the Drake now. They got two already. Bang is hiding. He's coming.
Bang looking to come in. Here comes your initiation. They're right through.
Oh my God.
Faker Shockwave will find them all. And SKT with a hell of a response.
Faker is a South Korean professional League of Legends player who made his debut in 2013 after he was picked up by the LCK team SK Telecom T1. Faker is considered to be one of the greatest League of Legends players of all time. He has been known to be the greatest because of his high mechanical skills and, of course, his hunger for winning. In addition, his dedication to League of Legends is exceptional, as seen in the way he plays the game. Looking up just some of his stats, Faker is one of the only two players to have won the League of Legends World Championship 3 times, having completed the feat in 2013, 2015, and 2016. Besides, he has won the IEM Championships 1 time, the MSI Championships 2 times, and their LCK Championships 9 times. And of course, he was elected the most valuable player, MVP, several times. Yep, these are just some of Faker's significant accomplishments. But as with everything in life, nothing beautiful lasts forever, and that is the situation with Faker's career right now. There have been several reports of Faker opting to retire in the coming months, but how true that is yet to be seen. Nevertheless, that won't stop us from looking at some of the possible reasons why he might be retiring. So let us take a look at what exactly might cause Faker to retire from the thing he loves doing so much. Being a Korean, all non-disabled males between 18 to 28 must serve the country's military for about 2 years. And keeping this rule in mind, Faker is not exempted, even though many people have claimed that Faker should be exempted from military service because of his achievements. That isn't quite the case. Like every other esports player in South Korea, Faker can't have his military service waived off because of a bill revising the exemption rules concerning this issue. The most logical option for Faker right now, therefore, would be to extend his postponement until he's ready to retire willingly, though there is still one mysterious exemption rule. This exemption rule states that it will allow athletes to skip the military service if they win a gold medal in the Asian Games or the Olympics. Unfortunately for Faker and the other South Korean players, none of the events contain the game League of Legends, which throws their exemption military service out of the window. The Asian Games had a trial competition back in 2018, but no official medals or exemptions were given, although there is still hope for League of Legends to be a part of the Asian Games. Another thing to take note of is that Faker is currently 26 years old, which means that his deadline for getting an exemption is until 2024. Which is the year he will be 28. This means that he will need to work harder than ever to show an incredible performance every year to be chosen for these events. After which, of course, Faker needs to win one of the events if a case is to be made for his military service exemption. Until the later half of LCK's summer session of 2020, Faker has been the starting mid laner for SKT. Unfortunately, due to an issue between Faker's fans and the organization, Faker was benched due to drama, which annoyed many people, including Faker himself. This was when Closer, SKT's reserve mid laner, took the initiative to step in and play instead of Faker. As expected, Closer grabbed this opportunity with both hands and played exceptionally well. He even managed to outplay some of the world's biggest mid laners.
Looking to clean it up as the Zoe does. He's going to get 2. And, well, he misses that, but it doesn't matter as the more sparkles will pick up a triple for the debuting mid laner.
As Faker decided to stay calm and hold back, SKT decided to keep Closer as the starting mid laner. Even the fans were surprised by the coaching staff's decision to start Closer instead of Faker. Closer even was a starter at SKT's qualifying match for Worlds. Faker managed to play 1 game in the tournament but was immediately benched right away, which caused him to become even more annoyed than ever. And just like that, things turned on their heads for Faker. Now he is not the starting mid laner, and he will, in all probability, never become it again. The only thing he knows for sure is the information stated in the contract with SKT. In February 2020, Faker signed an extension contract that would keep him at SKT for 3 more years, and in fact, he also became part owner of the organization. Furthermore, a clause of Faker's agreement states that he will be taking on a leadership role once he decides to retire. And even if Faker chooses to leave the professional esport industry altogether, he will still have a backup plan. Streaming, of course. Faker has gained 3.5 million followers and averaged about 30,000 viewers while streaming on Twitch. By the way, why don't you check out his Twitch channel right now? He might be live. So, what does the future hold? Is it a possibility that Faker will soon retire? And even if he chooses to retire, what does the future hold for the most legendary League of Legends player in the world? Let's say Faker completes his military service, then he will be free to do whatever he wants. Or will he? For a professional esport player, 2 years without playing the game will more or less make them start from scratch. They will be totally outcompeted by most other League of Legends players due to the game's updates and new features. It will take years to rebuild the skills they once had. Unfortunately, this is probably how it is going to be for Faker. This is why it is understandable if he is trying to expose his retirement. However, this basically means that once he joins the military service, he probably won't be able to rejoin the professional stage of League of Legends ever again. The military service is, in other words, Faker's point of no return. Faker isn't unknown to the term retirement, as he sent a heartfelt message to another League of Legends player named Xian Uzi Xiao, who retired due to ongoing health problems. When Uzi announced so, Faker expressed his deep respect for Uzi and recorded messages on Twitter saying that he couldn't believe that Uzi was retiring. Faker admitted that his heart felt heavy when he thought of Uzi leaving the competitive scene. However, Faker also urged Uzi's fans to continue supporting him no matter his decision. Luckily, Faker has considerably better health than Uzi, so at least that won't be why he retires if he does so. But will Faker follow Uzi's footsteps? We can't say for sure, but there is some good news amidst all of this. As we mentioned earlier, SKT has stated that they would like Faker to take on a more managerial role as a part owner. Therefore, he will be taking a leadership role in the organization as an experienced player who has conquered the world of League of Legends several times. In addition, he will impart his knowledge and wisdom to the upcoming players of SKT. And there is no doubt that his word of advice will be priceless to young players. Faker is a winner, and his coaching staff will possibly bring SKT a massive edge for future competitions. You might know the Danish mid laner Bjergsen. He played for TSM for most of his career. Not long ago, he retired and immediately became head coach for TSM. We are not trying to jinx anything, but who says Faker can't become the next head coach for SKT? I mean, sounds good to me. So to conclude, is Faker retiring then? It could happen soon. Or it couldn't. He still has some time before he leaves for his military service, even without the exemption. Will he opt for his military service now or in the next 2 years? Only Faker knows. But if he chooses to leave the world of League of Legends, it will be a massive blowout to the community. A legend like Faker deserves a glorious farewell, and not one which is embroiled in controversy and doubts. The final decision will ultimately come down to Faker himself. Will he leave as a player? Join as a coach? Leave the world of League of Legends entirely? Or will he return for the last dance? Let's at least hope for a happy ending. Alright folks, there we have it. The rest is out of our hands. Let us know what you think is going to happen to the greatest of all time. Also, let us know if we missed vital information. Comment your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.